All right, today we're diving into one of the biggest, most mind-bending mysteries out there, the unseen forces that literally shape everything around us. We're talking about dark matter, the unseen architect.
So let's start with a wild thought. Really chew on this for a second. What if everything you see, everything you touch, heck, everything you even know exists, is just a tiny, tiny fraction of what's actually out there? And look, this isn't some sci-fi movie plot. This is the real, startling conclusion from modern physics. It means that most of our universe, it's completely invisible, made of stuff we just can't see or feel or touch. Okay, so that begs a pretty big question, right? How in the world do you know something is there if it's totally invisible? Well, that's what we're going to dig into first. Let's talk about the invisible force, discovering what isn't there. That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? If we can't see it, how do we know it exists? It sounds like a total paradox, but here's the cool part. Scientists are basically cosmic detectives. They've found the clues not by looking for the invisible stuff, but by watching how the stuff we can see is acting. So let's get a working definition here. What is this stuff? Well, dark matter is kind of like a cosmic ghost. It doesn't give off light, it doesn't reflect light, which is why we call it dark. But, and this is the key, it has mass. And anything with mass has gravity. So that gravitational pull, that's the only footprint it leaves in the snow, the only clue that it's there at all. So here's how that detective work actually went down. First, astronomers were just observing galaxies spin, right? Simple enough. Then they did the math. They calculated how much mass all the visible stars added up to. But here's where it got weird. The galaxies were spinning way too fast. So fast, in fact, that the gravity from all those visible stars shouldn't have been nearly strong enough to hold them together. The stars on the edge should have just flown off into deep space. The only possible conclusion? There had to be a ton of extra invisible mass in there, providing the gravitational muscle to keep it all from flying apart. So you see, it's basically the invisible gravitational glue that's holding entire galaxies together. Think about that. Without dark matter, the beautiful spiral galaxies we see, they just disintegrate. It's the essential, unseen stuff that makes everything else possible. Okay, so we know it's there, but now let's get into the scale of it all. Because, knowing something exists is one thing, but finding out how much of it is out there, well, that's a whole other level. And honestly, this part is just mind-blowing. Just look at this breakdown of the universe. See that little slice, the 5%? That's us. That's everything we see. Every star, every planet, every nebula, every single thing you've ever seen in a picture from a telescope, all of it is just 5%. The other 95%? A total mystery. A huge chunk of that, about 27%, is dark matter. And that giant 68%, that's something even weirder called dark energy. But that's a story for another day. Let me put that a different way, just so it really sinks in. If you ignore the dark energy and just look at all the matter, all the stuff in the universe, a whopping 85% of it is dark matter. That means for every piece of normal matter you can find, there are more than 5 pieces of dark matter hiding somewhere nearby. It's just staggering. And that is why we call it the unseen architect. See, it's not just some minor ingredient floating around. It's the main event. It's the dominant material that built the cosmic scaffolding that allowed galaxies, stars, and planets, us, to form in the first place. Which, of course, brings us to the biggest question of them all. Okay, we know it's there, we know what it does, but what is it? What is it actually made of? And that's our final piece here, solving the cosmic mystery, the hunt for the architect. And this is where things get really exciting, because we're right at the edge of what we know. We can describe what dark matter does with amazing accuracy, but the particle itself, the actual thing that it's made of, it's still one of the absolute biggest unsolved puzzles in all of science. But trust me, the search is on. You've got brilliant people all over the world working on this. They're building these incredibly sensitive detectors deep, deep underground to try and catch a dark matter particle as it passes through the Earth. They're smashing atoms together in giant colliders, hoping to create one. They're basically trying to catch a ghost, to get that first direct piece of evidence of what this stuff is. And the stakes here are just massive. Finding it wouldn't just be another cool discovery, no way. It would be like finding a hidden chapter in the instruction manual for the universe. It would completely change everything we think we know about reality.
So I'll leave you with this question to ponder. If we finally find it, if we finally solve this incredible mystery, are we going to meet the architect? Or are we just going to discover a whole new, even more complicated blueprint for a universe that's far stranger and more wonderful than we ever dared to imagine?